Hello, I'm Lesley Anne Knight and welcome to this Just Talking Musicals close-up on one of the longest ever running shows on both sides of the Atlantic, Phantom of the Opera. Aside from checking in with a few fascinating facts and figures, we're also going to catch up on a recent chat I had with the wonderful Rebecca Locke, who actually played the role of Carlotta in Phantom at Her Majesty's Theatre in the West End. But first, here's a quick fact check on the show that has well and truly earned its honourable place in musical theatre history. Phantom of the Opera is a musical with lyrics by Charles Hard. It's composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber, who co-wrote the book with Richard Stilgoe, and it's based on the 1910 novel by Gaston Leroux. The plot revolves around a beautiful soprano, Christine Daae, who becomes the obsession of a mysterious masked musical genius living in the subterranean labyrinth beneath the Paris Opera House. Phantom of the Opera opened in the West End in 1986 and on Broadway in 1988, and it won the 1986 Olivier Award and the 1988 Tony Award for Best Musical, with Michael Crawford, who played the Phantom, winning the Olivier and Tony Awards for Best Actor in a Musical. It's currently the longest running show in Broadway history, is the second longest running West End musical after Les Mis, and the third longest running West End show overall, after The Mousetrap. With total estimated worldwide gross receipts of over $6 billion and total Broadway gross of over $1 billion, Phantom was the most financially successful entertainment event until The Lion King surpassed it in 2014. However, by 2011, it was already estimated that it had been seen by over 130 million people in 145 cities across 27 countries. And then in 2020, the theatre world was hit by the most miserable year of all, with fears that even this iconic show might not return after the endless lockdowns and job losses created by the global pandemic. But Phantom did return in July 2021, and it did it in style, with 4-star reviews from the press, with deserved high praise for its cast and fine leading lady in the form of Lucy St. Louis, who was quite captivating as Christine. The renewed sets and costumes paint a world of elegance, extravagance and flamboyance, and it is no small mark of achievement that this show is officially back, up, running and celebrating its 35th anniversary as of October 2021. Now, I recently met up with Rebecca Locke and we just happened to get on to the subject of Phantom, and how delighted I was that the conversation led us down this road. Just talking musicals with you.
I always love the quirks of the backstage setup, like there are the lifts that you can get in if you're up high in a dressing room, or the quick routes around the back of the theatre.
Yeah, although you're never allowed to use a lift in the middle of a show, just in case you get stuck. And so if your dressing room's up the top, you'll be giving it windy, right up the top. So you've got thighs burning and bottom on fire from all the steps.
It gives you time to think though, doesn't it? Focus.
It does. Although in Phantom, I was up a couple of flights. I think it was about 6 flights I had to do for Carlotta. And so every time I got changed, I have to go up these stairs, get changed into these 4 or 5 stone heavy dresses, come all the way down again, then go back up again, and then come back down.
There's no glamour to that, is there? No.
There's no glamour to that. There's lots of sweat.
Yes.
But I was very fit.
Oh, how lovely, though. That's another part. It must have been really exciting to
incredible, because that was something that I never really thought I'd get a chance to do. And that came about because I was just on Avenue Q, doing Kate and Lucy on Avenue Q, and I was having a cup of tea with Trevor Jackson, who was head of casting at the time for Cameron McIntosh. And he said, "What do you want to do next?" And I said, "I want to do Carlotta in Phantom." And he laughed. He's like, "What? Really?" "Yeah, right. Have you got a Super E?" I was like, "Yes." And next thing I knew, I was sent music, and then I had to go and audition and kind of go and prove myself, really. I was always, when I was learning singing at Central, we only had half an hour singing lesson every week. So it wasn't really massively musical theatre at all. But my singing teacher at the time was very focused on developing my soprano, my classic soprano. So I'd always have it there. And so Phantom was always something I had a little bit of an eye on. And I knew I wasn't probably the right age for Christine anymore because I was over 30. but so I thought, and the film had just come out of Phantom, and Minnie Driver had played Carlotta, and I thought she was fabulously funny in the role. And so it kind of opened their minds a little bit to having someone a bit younger. And so I just did my version of, and something stuck, and Cameron liked it because it was different, I think. And I usually go for the comedy edge of things. If you've ever seen anything I've ever done, I'm bound to be doing some kind of slapstick comedy at some point. And so that was the kind of spin I put on it. I made her funny, and got my super out in my in my audition, and shocked them a little bit, I think. But I remember being my first night on, and as the orchestra is doing the overture and the chandeliers coming up and everything, you are behind this gauze, and you're in your big gold and green and red dress for Hannibal. You have the severed head in your hand, and you're on the stage on your own. The lightning's going, da 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 da, and then the orchestra just goes ba da 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 da, and it stops. And you've got to pluck a note out of nowhere and do that cadenza, and then come to the front of the stage, and then the orchestra joins in with you. That is terrifying. But I remember being there waiting, just going, oh my God, this is actually happening. I'm actually in Phantom of the Opera. And that's the orchestra doing that. And I've now got to sing this bit. And it was a really surreal moment of going, I'm in Phantom of the Opera. Oh my God. There are some moments you look down on yourself when you're doing these shows like Mary Poppins, these famous things, and going, oh my God, I'm flying. I've got a brolly and a bag in my hand.
Yes.
Or there's the most surreal moments, but the most exciting as well. And, can't wait for the next one.
Yes, here we go. Yes, good plug. But technically, Phantom is hard, isn't it? When people say to me, oh, Phantom, what's your fun? You look at the cadenzas and all the technical tricky stuff that people have to do. You've got to be a certain voice to be able to achieve that, because you can't just belt it out. It's all breath.
No, yeah, it's proper. And you've got to do your impression of what an opera singer is, and it is hard, and the Italian and learning but also technically, I had to really take care of myself. I couldn't go out all the time, and I'd literally come home and I'd steam, and I'd go to bed, and I'd wake up and I'd steam, and then I would warm up slowly in the morning, and then I would steam again, and then warm up again when I got to the theatre, because it's really vocally really massively demanding when you're hitting all these top notes. And I remember my larynx just being so high at the time that when I'd come off stage and talk to my friends, I'd be speaking up like that, and I had to really lower it to get my voice back down again. Yeah. So I didn't sound like I was, teaching at a primary school. But but I loved every second, and, kind of honing my skill a little bit, because I had to learn. I had to go back, and really learn what I was doing vocally, and look after myself. And it was hard. And there were some days you'd get there to the matinee and be like, oh, I can't sing those top Ds anymore. But you do, and I loved it.
And the more you do, the more oiled in it gets. But you've still got to be really careful, haven't you?
Really careful. But the stronger your muscles get, and you get the muscle memory of it and everything. But if I had to go back and do it now, that would take a bit to get me back there, I think, and do that again, because it was like being at the top of your vocal health game, I suppose, being a top athlete, because it's hard.
But once it's in the voice, it's in the voice. It takes a little bit, and then it's back in there, isn't it? That's what
absolutely.
I love. Yeah.
Yes, it would probably ping back quite quickly if I, give me a few weeks and it might ping back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. I love doing that part.
Well, there you are. I absolutely love listening to Becky talk about the enormous effort that goes into creating these wonderful roles. And as a singer and vocal coach, it's quite literally music to my ears to hear about her vocal preparation each day of the run. So a huge thank you once again to Rebecca Locke for sharing her Phantom memories with us. And here's wishing everyone on the show a very happy 35th anniversary from all of us here at Just Talking Musicals. I'm Lesley Anne Knight. You can find plenty more behind the scenes chat on the Just Talking Musicals channel on YouTube. And if you like us, don't forget to subscribe so we can keep on bringing you the stories. See you soon. Just talking musicals with you.